to know. Martin Huth, the head of the cultural section at the Federal Foreign Office and responsible for cultural relations with the countries of the Middle East, and also himself a mustachioed expert in Middle Eastern affairs.
Thank you. صباح الخير ونهار سعيد للجميع. I'm Martin Huth from the Foreign Office. Thank you, Daniel, and everyone else here for having organized this conference. We are still early on in the morning, and I'm not a specific expert on Iraq, so this may still be a good moment to step back a little bit and talk about a few rather self-evident facts that might guide our discussion. Although I must already say that I agree wholeheartedly with what Sheikh Abdul Latif has already said, and I think that was an interesting opening statement. So the first thing I would like to mention is we are all in the same boat. If anything has come of the recent crisis in the region, then I think it is a realization for us here in Germany, but for us as Europeans, to see that we are immediate neighbors. Your fate and your destiny will affect ours, and vice versa as well. This is a very different situation from, let's say, 30 or 40 years ago, or even longer when I grew up in Germany, and countries like Egypt, let alone Iraq, were actually considered as being very far away. The current situation shows to us that our paths are closely entwined, and I think that is a good thing. The second point I would like to make is to mention to you what I would call the pneumatic model of movements and ideologies in the region. It has already been said that Daesh, the Islamic State, cannot be seen in isolation. Over the last 70 years, we've seen a coming and going of movements and ideologies in the region, starting with the 1950s, starting with nationalism, Nasserism. We all know where Al-Qaeda had its roots. And now, of course, we have witnessed the most murderous and most brutal ideology, which is that of the Islamic State. But fact of the matter is, people have a longing for guidance, they have a longing for ideologies, which means if one ideology goes because it is not successful or because it is defeated, it is likely to be replaced by another one. So it would be an interesting question to ask what will be the ideology of the future and what to fill the vacuum with. Now, I think it could be said that many, if not all of these ideologies and political ideas, and not all of them have been bad, definitely, have been fueled by frustration. Economic, political, social frustration, but also by aspirations, personal aspirations, political aspirations, and economic aspirations. And these need to be taken seriously. And if we look at the future, I can only think of the crucial triangle between the state, the citizen, and of course, when we talk about the region, the mosaic of religious groups and institutions. For Iraq, it seems to me that it's an important question to ask oneself whether Iraq wants to be strong in diversity or whether it wants to be weak in a state of being fractured, and how to achieve this. I mean, obviously, what is needed is, as anywhere else, as in Europe, as in Germany, is a state and its institutions that work and act in the interest and in the service of its citizen. We need citizens that are willing and able to recognize that the country is diverse, mutual respect, etc. I think that is obvious one to everyone. And of course, we need religious institutions and religious leaders that actively contribute to shaping that notion of a state that is actually in service of its citizens and that respects diversity, and that at the same time can still cater to the spiritual aspirations of its people. So just a number of very general facts, but I think this is really where the path should lie a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. This concerns the members of parliament, of course.